Welcome back to The Real Story. Today's next topic brings us to the Lone Star State, where Republican lawmakers are still fighting back against the gerrymandering games of their liberal counterparts. So to that point, the Texas Senate approved new congressional maps on Tuesday in a vote of 19-2. All but 2 Democrats actually left the chamber in protest, with the other 2 staying to vote against the plan. And now it's up to the state's House of Representatives to finally approve it. Under Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick's iron-fisted leadership, the redrawn lines aim to crush Democrat strongholds in urban areas, all while boosting GOP firepower in the state's growing suburbs. However, it's still unclear if and when the House will actually be able to vote on this plan because many Democrat members of it are still absent. Texas House Democrats have bolted the state like rats fleeing a sinking ship, dodging quorum for over a week and grinding the entire process to a halt, all while Texas Republicans prepare to pass it. The so-called protectors of democracy are directly sabotaging it just in protest, leaving a critical bill in limbo. And it's not even a new tactic of theirs, as our next guest has pointed out on this very show before. They pulled the exact same stunt way back in 2021, proving they will do just about anything to cling to power, even if it means refusing to do their jobs. So Texas House Democrats are reportedly, on that note, planning to return to work because they believe they've achieved their real goal of pressuring Governor Abbott and thwarting the special legislative session that he called. However, that still remains to be seen. But in any case, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is ramping up the pressure on the man he believes has been enabling the chaos, former Texas Rep. Beto O'Rourke. A.G. Paxton is actually seeking his arrest. In a motion filed on Tuesday, he claimed that O'Rourke violated a temporary restraining order for offering financial support to the Democrat lawmakers who dodged their duties simply in the name of stopping Republicans. Paxton claims O'Rourke and his Political Action Committee, powered by people, kept fundraising for them despite a ruling from a judge to block them from doing so. He even talked about this in a statement on X on Tuesday, saying this, "Breaking, I am taking action to hold Robert Francis O'Rourke in contempt for violating a court order and scamming Texans. Beto is about to find out that running your mouth and ignoring the rule of law has consequences in Texas. It's time to lock him up." Yikes. Now, whether or not he will be locked up remains to be seen. But either way, our next guest today will certainly be able to provide some more insight into this ongoing battle. So here to join us is Briscoe Cain, a Texas state representative for the state's 128th district. Briscoe, thank you for being here today.
Howdy from Texas, Riley.
So it is so good to have you. I just can't believe it. This has gone on for days and days and days, and Democrats have confirmed now outright that it was really just a stunt to stop this really interesting bill. What do you think that says about their character and what they really stand for?
Are you surprised? I don't think anybody really is. That they would call themselves courageous by running away, that they would somehow be prioritizing flood relief by not allowing the legislature to function. And now we see that they may have committed multiple felonies in doing so. I don't think anybody's surprised at all that their desperate attempt to hold on to power, but knowing history shows, is absolutely futile.
Yeah, it is. And for that reason, people are wondering about consequences for these rogue actors. Are we going to see arrests, indictments, even their seats be vacated? What do you think, Briscoe?
There must be real consequences or it'll keep happening again.
Yes.
And there's no real reason for it to do. It's completely dilatory. There's absolutely no way that our framers would have ever thought people could just leave the state, have no intent of returning, and somehow not have abandoned their district. That something must be done, and whether they come back in a few days or in 2 weeks, we're still going to advance the MAGA agenda, and their penalties should continue to increase.
You know, I'm not from Texas, and I'm not a Democrat there, but if I was, just for a moment, I would be steamed right now. I would be so upset that people whose salaries I am paying just walked off the job site because they're upset. So I want to ask you, have you heard anything at all from Democrats or their constituents on the ground? And if so, what have you heard?
Let's think about it anecdotally. The Democrat members that have not broken quorum are from certain regions of Texas. That would be along the Rio Grande border and the Valley and El Paso. Go figure. They understand that population also values hard work and is embarrassed by the fact that people would quit on the job.
Yeah. So, I mean, I completely understand it. It's indefensible, and I wonder. Obviously, it was just a tactic, but I do wonder: do you think it's going to work? Because what I see happening here is just a cycle of calling a legislative session, they jump ship like fling rats, then the same thing over and over and over again until they buy up enough time to get to the midterms without any changes on the ground. So just walk us through what's going to happen here, because we all want to see this redistricting plan get passed and well before the midterms. So what do you think, Briscoe? What's going to happen here?
I have little doubt that the Texas House and Senate will pass the redistricting plan in enough time, and it'll be soon. I believe this month. All the Democrats did was waste essentially 30 days. In fact, they're going to declare victory. They're going to say we're back because we won, but they didn't win at all. They literally delayed the inevitable and made us even angrier. They've unified the Republican caucus. They've shown the nation and the world that they're incompetent. They lost.
Yeah, well, incompetent and weak, too weak to stand up and fight for what they supposedly believe in. I would respect them much more if they stayed in the state and said, we oppose this and we will fight tooth and nail against it, as opposed to just running away. At least there's some kind of real conviction there. So this has been a real eye-opener for a lot of us who thought the Democrats just can't stoop any lower. Clearly they can. But I do want to talk now about the AG, Ken Paxton, who's really turning up the pressure on Texas House Democrats. What do you make of his new inquiry and call for the arrest of Beto O'Rourke?
Well, if you were to, anybody was to look up on their phone section 36.02 of the Texas Penal Code, they'd be able to read what it would look like people are engaging in, and the other allegations that Attorney General Paxton is lodging, that people were not realizing they'd be funding the personal expenses as opposed to campaign accounts of these breaking quorum. It looks a lot like bribery. A lot of this looks like unethical, illegal stuff. A grand jury certainly needs to be convened, and Beto O'Rourke probably needs to follow the order as he's being accused of violating.
So, just to elaborate on that, what would be the penalty hypothetically? Because I know Paxton has one in mind, but what could these lawmakers be charged with theoretically, or what could they be facing if this really proves to be right?
Yeah, these are felonies and high-level misdemeanors. This is serious fines. This is legislative bribery. This is official corruption. These are not okay things, and someone needs to be investigated for it. It certainly looks like it. Anybody that offers a benefit as consideration for an official's decision on some official act, right, like whether to vote or show up to work, that certainly sounds like what is going on here. They've offered them private hotels and support while they're away from home and to help them pay these fines. It sounds like it.
Yeah, it really does. I don't know if anything's going to come of it. I really, really am hoping there will be some kind of accountability, but to your point earlier, they've tried this before. You've brought that up on the show before, and they got away with it. So I want to ask you, final question. What makes you think that this time, right now, might be different than last time?
Well, like I believe the courts have turned in our direction, but we have the hearts of the people. This is common sense outcome. The last time they did it is still really fresh in people's minds. And I think people are just kind of finally tired of the nonsense and they want to see results. And I expect that means there will be accountability.
Okay, understood. We can all hope for that. I certainly am. And I know you're a very busy man, so thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
Adios, Riley. God bless.
Coming up next, artificial intelligence wizard Larry Ward joins us to discuss one of the most important and underreported downsides of the ongoing AI revolution. More details about what's going on right after the break.